The penthouse smells different now. 3 weeks ago, it smelled like power and money, and the kind of silence that only existed 43 floors above the city. Now it smells like cinnamon rolls baking in the oven, and the cheap lavender soap Camellia insists on using, even though Daehyun offered to buy her anything she wanted. It smells like people live here. Kang Daehyun sits at the head of his glass dining table, the same table where he used to eat alone, and watches an 8-year-old girl cut her pancakes into perfect squares. Zara has her own chair now, her own place setting, her own routine. Every morning, she wakes up at 7, brushes her teeth, puts her hair in 2 puffs, walks into the dining room in her pajamas like she owns the place. And every morning, Daehyun finds himself waiting for her. Not because he has to, because he wants to. "You're staring again," Zara says without looking up from her plate. Daehyun blinks. "I'm not staring." "You do it every morning. You watch me eat like you're trying to figure something out." She's right. He is trying to figure something out. He's trying to figure out how an 8-year-old child became the most important person in his organization. How she sits at his table every morning and translates phone calls that could end his life. How she saved him with 3 words, and now he can't imagine this penthouse without her. "Your mother's quiet today," Daehyun observes. Camellia stands in the kitchen, hands gripping the counter, staring at nothing. She's been like this for days. Tense, watchful, like she's waiting for something bad to happen. Zara shrugs. "She's always quiet." "Not like this." The girl finally looks up at him. Her dark eyes are too knowing, too aware. "She's scared," Zara says simply. "She thinks you're going to figure it out." Daehyun's jaw tightens. Figure what out? Before Zara can answer, the phone rings. Not his regular phone. Not the one clients and associates call. The black encrypted phone. The one that shouldn't ring anymore because everyone who had the number is supposed to be dead or dealt with. It's been silent for 3 weeks. Until now. Zara's fork stops midair. She doesn't look at the phone. She looks at Daehyun. And he sees it in her eyes. She was expecting this. "Answer it," she says quietly. Daehyun crosses the room slowly. His hand hovers over the phone for a moment. Every instinct he has is screaming that this is a trap, that picking up this phone will trigger something he's not ready for. But Zara is watching him with those eyes that see too much. So he answers. He doesn't speak, just listens. The voice on the other end is male, older, speaking Mandarin in the same controlled tone as the last call. Daehyun looks at Zara. She slides off her chair and walks over to him. Stands beside him, like this is normal. Like an 8-year-old translating death threats is just another Tuesday morning. He puts the phone on speaker. The voice continues speaking. Calm, methodical, giving instructions like he's reading a grocery list. Zara listens. Her face doesn't change, but her hand reaches for her juice glass on the table. Her fingers wrap around it. The voice says something that makes Zara's grip tighten. The glass slips, falls, shatters across the marble floor. Orange juice spreads like blood. Camilla gasps from the kitchen. She knows that sound. She knows what it means. Daehyun mutes the call. What did he say? Zara stares at the broken glass, at the juice pooling around her bare feet. He said the waiting is over. What does that mean? She looks up at him. And for the first time since he's known her, he sees actual fear in her eyes. It means they're coming tonight. The room goes cold. Daehyun's mind is already moving, calculating, planning. He needs to know numbers, locations, how many men, what weapons, how they're getting in. "Who's coming?" he asks. Zara's voice is small, quiet, like she's telling him something she doesn't want to be true. Everyone. Daehyun doesn't waste time asking questions. He ends the call, grabs his phone, sends 3 messages in 10 seconds. Jiwon appears in the penthouse within minutes. 2 additional guards follow. They don't ask why. They just move. "We're leaving," Daehyun says. "Now." Camila is already packing. Her hands shake as she throws clothes into a bag. She's not asking where they're going. She's not arguing. She just moves like someone who's been preparing for this moment her entire life. Zara stands in the middle of the chaos, watching everyone panic around her. She's still barefoot, still has orange juice on her toes from the broken glass. She doesn't move when Daehyun approaches her. "We have a safe house," he says, "across the city. No one knows about it except Jiwon and me." "They'll find it," Zara says quietly. "No, they won't." "They found this place. They'll find that one too." Daehyun crouches down to her level, looks her in the eyes. "How do they keep finding us, Zara?" She doesn't answer, just looks past him at her mother. 20 minutes later, they're in a black SUV with tinted windows. Jiwon drives. 2 guards follow in a second vehicle. They take side streets, double back twice. Standard protocol for moving high-value targets. Zara sits between Daehyun and her mother in the back seat. She's wearing shoes now, and a jacket. But she's still too quiet. Camila hasn't said a word since they left. She just stares out the window, her hand gripping her phone like it's the only thing keeping her alive. Daehyun notices. He's been noticing for days. The way she checks her messages when she thinks no one's watching. The way she types responses and then deletes them. The way she holds that phone like it's connected to something dangerous. They arrive at the safe house 40 minutes later. It's a modest building in a neighborhood where no one asks questions. 3 floors, reinforced doors, security cameras Daehyun installed himself. Inside, it's sparse, functional. A couch, a table, 2 bedrooms, a kitchen with nothing in it. Camila goes straight to one of the bedrooms, doesn't ask permission, just closes the door behind her. Zara watches her mother disappear. "She's going to call someone," the girl says. Daehyun looks at her. "How do you know?" "Because she always does. When she's scared, when something bad is about to happen. She calls someone and whispers in Mandarin and thinks I don't understand." Daehyun's pulse quickens. "You've heard these calls?" "Not all of it. She keeps her voice low, but I've heard enough." "What does she say?" Zara looks up at him. "She says, 'please,' a lot, and 'not yet.' And once I heard her say, 'she doesn't know anything.'" The room temperature drops. Daehyun walks to the bedroom door, doesn't knock, just opens it. Camila is sitting on the bed, phone pressed to her ear, whispering urgently in Mandarin. She sees him and freezes. Her face goes pale. Her hand lowers slowly. "I'll call you back," she whispers into the phone, then ends the call. The silence that follows is suffocating. Daehyun doesn't yell, doesn't move, just looks at her with the kind of cold that makes people confess without being asked. "Who were you calling?" he asks quietly. "A friend?" Camila says. Her voice shakes. "What friend?" "Someone from before? Before I worked for you? Before Seoul." Someone from Shanghai? Her eyes widen, just slightly, but enough. Dae-hyun takes a step forward. Give me the phone. No. That wasn't a request. Camila clutches the phone to her chest. Please, you don't understand. If I don't answer, if I don't check in. If you don't check in, what? Dae-hyun's voice is ice. What happens, Camila? Her lips tremble. Tears start forming in her eyes. They'll know something's wrong, she whispers. They'll know you moved us. They'll know you're protecting us instead of... She stops herself. But Dae-hyun heard enough. Instead of what? He demands. Instead of using you? Instead of throwing you out? What were they expecting me to do? Camila shakes her head. Won't answer. Dae-hyun doesn't ask again. He just reaches out and takes the phone from her hands. Not violently, just firmly. The way you take something from a child who's holding a knife. She doesn't fight him, just collapses onto the bed and starts sobbing into her hands. Dae-hyun looks down at the phone. It's an old model, cheap. Not the phone he gave her when she moved into his penthouse. This is a second phone, a secret phone. He opens the messages. They're all in Mandarin. Pages and pages of conversations going back months, maybe years. He can't read them, but he can see the pattern. Short messages from Camila. Longer responses from someone saved in her contacts as old friend. Recent messages from just hours ago. Camila. He's asking questions. Old friend. Keep quiet. Not much longer. Camila. What if she tells him? Old friend. She won't. She doesn't know enough yet. Camila. But what if... Old friend. The agreement stands. You keep the girl safe. We keep you alive. Don't make this complicated. Dae-hyun's jaw clenches so hard he can hear his teeth grinding. He walks back into the living room where Zara sits on the couch, small and still. He holds up the phone. Can you read this? Zara looks at the screen. Her eyes move across the Mandarin characters. She reads silently for a long moment. Then she looks up at Dae-hyun with an expression that's too old for her face. They've been watching us the whole time, she says quietly. Since before we came to work for you. Maybe even before I was born. Who's watching us? Zara's voice is barely a whisper. The same people who made that phone call 3 weeks ago. The same people who are coming tonight. She pauses, swallows hard. And my mother's been reporting to them. The words land like a bomb. From the bedroom, Camila's sobs get louder. Dae-hyun looks at the phone, at the messages, at the evidence that the woman he's been protecting has been betraying him the entire time. His hand tightens around the device. There's more, Zara says softly. Dae-hyun looks at her. Scroll down, she says, to the oldest messages. He does. The messages go back 2 years, to before Camila even applied to work for him. He finds one dated exactly 1 week before her job interview. Old friend. The position is ready. He needs a maid. You apply tomorrow. Camila. And then what? Old friend. Then you wait. And you listen. And when the time is right, you'll know what to do. Camila. What about Zara? Old friend. Bring her. She'll be useful. Dae-hyun's blood turns to ice. He looks at Zara, at this 8-year-old girl who was placed in his life like a chess piece. Did you know? he asks quietly. Zara shakes her head. Not at first, but I figured it out. When? The night of the phone call. When I heard those 3 words, I realized they weren't just talking about your circle. She looks up at him with eyes that have seen too much. They were talking about mine. Daehyun doesn't go back into the bedroom immediately. He stands in the living room, holding Camilla's secret phone, watching the screen like it might explode. Jiwon is stationed by the front door. The guards patrol outside. Everyone is ready for an attack that might come in minutes or hours. But the real enemy is already inside. Zara hasn't moved from the couch. She sits with her legs tucked under her, watching Daehyun process what she already figured out days ago. You knew your mother was reporting, he says. Not a question, a statement. I suspected, Zara says. I heard her on the phone sometimes. Late at night, when she thought I was asleep. She'd cry and speak in Mandarin and say she was sorry. Sorry for what? I didn't know then. I thought maybe she was talking to my father, the one who left before I was born. Daehyun's jaw tightens. And now? Now I think she was apologizing to someone else. Someone who's been controlling her longer than she's been working for you. From the bedroom, Camilla's crying has stopped. The silence is worse. Daehyun walks to the door, opens it without knocking. Camilla sits on the edge of the bed, hands folded in her lap, staring at nothing. Her face is wet with tears, but she's not crying anymore. She just looks empty. Defeated. Like she knew this moment was coming, and she's been dreading it for years. Talk, Daehyun says. His voice is cold, controlled. Camilla doesn't look at him. What do you want me to say? I want you to tell me who old friend is. She flinches at the name. I want you to tell me why you've been reporting to someone for 2 years. I want you to tell me why you were sent to work for me. And I want you to tell me what the hell they want with your daughter. Camilla's hands start trembling in her lap. I can't, she whispers. You don't have a choice. Yes, I do. I can stay quiet, and maybe they'll let us live. Or I can talk and guarantee they kill us both. Daehyun steps closer. They're already coming to kill us. Tonight. Your daughter heard it on the phone. So whatever you're protecting by staying quiet, it doesn't matter anymore. Camilla's breath catches. Unless, Daehyun continues, you're not protecting yourself. You're protecting whoever is pulling your strings. She looks up at him finally. Her eyes are red and swollen. I'm protecting my daughter, she says. Her voice breaks. That's all I've ever been doing. By lying to me? By reporting my movements? By placing her in danger every single day she's been in my home? By keeping her alive! Camilla's voice cracks. She stands up, hands clenched into fists. You don't understand what they'll do if I don't cooperate. You don't understand what they've already done. Then make me understand. Camilla wraps her arms around herself. She's shaking now, fully trembling. They came to me 4 years ago, she says quietly. In Busan. I was working 2 jobs, barely keeping us fed. Zada was 4 years old. She swallows hard. A man approached me. Older, Chinese. He knew things about me that no one should know. He knew about Zada's father, about my mother. about my past. Daehyun waits. He said I had a choice. I could work for them, or they'd take Zara. Not kill her. Take her. Raise her somewhere I'd never find her. Train her for something I couldn't imagine. Camilla's voice drops to barely a whisper. He said my daughter had a gift. That she could learn languages just by hearing them. That she understood patterns other people couldn't see. He said she was valuable. And you believed him? He proved it. He played a recording in Russian. Zara listened once. Then she repeated the words perfectly. She was 4 years old, and she'd never heard Russian in her life. Camilla looks at Daehyun with desperate eyes. So yes, I believed him. And when he said I needed to get close to someone powerful in Seoul, someone connected to the networks, I did it. Because the alternative was losing my daughter. Daehyun's mind races. Why me specifically? I don't know. He gave me your name. Told me when a position would open. Said to apply and wait. Wait for what? For the phone call. For the moment when Zara would be useful. The words hang in the air like smoke. Daehyun turns and walks back into the living room. Zara is still on the couch, still listening to everything. Did you know? He asks her. About your gift? Zara nods slowly. I've always been able to do it. Hear a language and understand it. Remember patterns. See things other people miss. And you never thought that was strange? I thought everyone could do it. Until I realized they couldn't. Daehyun sits down across from her, studies her face. This 8-year-old girl who saved his life, who translates death threats over breakfast, who was placed in his home like a weapon, waiting to be activated. The phone call 3 weeks ago, he says. When you heard those 3 words, you knew what they meant immediately. Yes. Not because you translated them, because you understood the context, the pattern, what was really being said underneath the words. Zara's eyes meet his. Yes. So what else have you understood that you haven't told me? She's quiet for a long moment. Then she says something that makes Daehyun's blood run cold. I know why they're coming tonight. Why? Because I'm not supposed to be helping you. I'm supposed to be helping them. Daehyun leans forward. What does that mean? The phone call 3 weeks ago wasn't a warning. It was a test. They wanted to see what I'd do. If I'd tell you what I heard, or if I'd stay quiet. And you told me? Yes. So you failed their test? Zara nods slowly. And now they're coming to take me back. To finish whatever training they started. To turn me into what they always wanted me to be. Camilla appears in the doorway. She stopped crying. Her face is hard now, determined. They're not taking her, she says. Her voice is steady for the first time all night. I don't care what they do to me. They're not touching my daughter. Daehyun stands. Who is old friend? I need a name. Camilla hesitates. Her hand goes to her throat like she's physically holding back the words. If I tell you, he'll know. He has people everywhere. In your organization, in the police, everywhere. I don't care. Tell me. Camilla's eyes fill with tears again, but this time they're not from fear. They're from resignation. His name is Chen Bo, she whispers. But that's not his real name. His real name is... She stops, looks at Zara. The girl's face has gone pale. You know him, Camilla says to her daughter. It's not a question. Zara nods slowly. I've heard his voice. When? On the phone, 3 weeks ago, and this morning. She looks up at Dae-hun with eyes that suddenly look much older than 8. He's the one who made both calls. And I know exactly what he wants. Dae-hun's entire body goes rigid. What does he want? Zara's voice is quiet but certain. He wants my grandfather's location. And I'm the only person who knows where he is. The room goes silent. Dae-hun stares at Zara. At this 8-year-old girl who just casually mentioned she knows where someone is hiding. Someone important enough that people are willing to kill for the information. What grandfather? He asks slowly. Camilla makes a sound like she's been punched in the stomach. She moves across the room in 3 strides, grabs Zara by the shoulders. You don't know where he is, she says urgently. You can't know. I never told you. I never... You didn't have to tell me, Zara says calmly. I figured it out. How? The same way I figure everything out. I listened. I remembered. I put the pieces together. Camilla's hands are shaking on her daughter's shoulders. When? When did you figure it out? 2 years ago. When you got the phone call that made you cry for 3 days straight. The one where someone told you he was still alive. Tears start streaming down Camilla's face. Zara continues, her voice matter of fact. You thought I was asleep, but I heard you on the phone. You said, Father, please. And, I can't do this. And, she's too young. And then you said an address. You said it 3 times like you were trying to memorize it. And you memorized it instead, Dae-hun says. Zara nods. I remember everything I hear, especially numbers. Dae-hun's mind is racing. He looks at Camilla. Your father is alive? She won't meet his eyes, just nods. And Chen Bo wants him. Another nod. Why? Camilla releases Zara's shoulders, sinks onto the couch like her legs can't hold her anymore. Because my father took something when he disappeared, she whispers, something that belongs to a lot of very dangerous people. What did he take? Information, names, bank accounts, shipment routes, blackmail material on politicians and police and military officials across 4 countries. She looks up at Dae-hun with exhausted eyes. My father wasn't just a broker. He was the broker. For 30 years, he moved information and money and people between Shanghai, Seoul, Hong Kong, and Tokyo. He knew everyone's secrets. He recorded everything. And then he vanished. Yes, 25 years ago, right before I was born. He took all his records and disappeared. Left my mother alone and pregnant in Shanghai. Left his partners without the intelligence network they'd spent decades building. Dae-hun sits down slowly, processing. Wei Huang, he says. The man who called my phone. He was your father's partner. Camilla nods. Wei and my father built the network together. They were brothers. Closer than blood. until my father realized what they were actually building. What do you mean? They started out moving goods. Then it became people. Then children. My father found out Wei was trafficking girls from rural China to wealthy clients in Korea and Japan. He tried to stop it. Wei refused. Her voice goes hollow. So my father took everything. Every record of every transaction. Every name of every client. Every bank account that processed blood money. He took it all and vanished to protect it. To protect it or to use it? Camila's jaw tightens. I'd like to think he took it to protect it. To keep it from being used to hurt more people. But I don't know anymore. I haven't seen him since I was a child. But you know where he is? No. I knew where he was 2 years ago. That phone call I made? He told me he was dying. That he wanted to meet Zara before he died. I told him no. I told him we were finally safe and I wasn't bringing my daughter into his world. She looks at Zara with something like regret, but I should have known she'd remember the address. Daehyun turns to Zara. Where is he? The girl doesn't answer immediately. She looks at her mother, then back at Daehyun. Before I tell you, I need to know something. What? Are you going to use it to hurt him? Or to protect us? Daehyun is quiet for a moment. Honest. I don't know yet. Zara studies his face, reading him the way she reads everything. Finally, she speaks. He's in Jeju Island, in a village called Sogripo. There's a house on the southern coast. Blue roof. Garden with stone walls. He lives alone. Camilla covers her mouth with both hands. Daehyun's mind is already working. If you figured it out 2 years ago, Chen Bo could have figured it out too. He hasn't, Zara says with certainty. How do you know? Because if he knew, he would have gone there already. He wouldn't need me. She's right. That makes sense. So why does he think you know? Daehyun asks. Zara hesitates. For the first time, she looks uncomfortable. Because I told him, she says quietly. The room explodes. Camilla jumps up. You what? I had to, Zara says, her voice steady despite her mother's panic. 6 months ago, Chen Bo came to our apartment. You weren't home. He asked me if I knew where grandfather was. I said no. He said he didn't believe me. Her small hands clench into fists. He said if I didn't tell him, he'd hurt you. So I said I knew where grandfather was, but I'd only tell him if he promised to leave us alone forever. And what did he say? Daehyun asks. He said he needed proof first. Proof that I actually knew. That I wasn't just protecting you, Mom. Camilla is crying again, silent tears streaming down her face. So I told him I'd give him proof when the time was right. When I knew we'd be safe. And when is that time? Zara looks up at Daehyun with those 2 wise eyes. Tonight. When they come. I'm supposed to go with them willingly. I'm supposed to take them to grandfather. And in exchange, they let my mother live. That's the agreement, Camilla whispers. That's what old friend has been preparing me for. The night they come to collect her. Daehyun's fists clench so hard his knuckles crack. Over my dead body. That can be arranged too, Camilla says bitterly. They don't care who dies as long as they get what they want. Dae-hun stands, paces. His mind is spinning through strategies. Chenbo doesn't know the exact location, he says, thinking out loud. He knows Zara knows, but she hasn't told him yet, which means we have leverage. Leverage? Camilla's voice rises. They have an army. They have people in your organization. They know where we are right now. What leverage do we possibly have? Dae-hun stops pacing, looks at Zara. We have her. No, Camilla says immediately. No, you're not using my daughter as bait. I'm not using her as bait. I'm recognizing that she's already the center of this, whether they'll like it or not. He crouches down in front of Zara. You understand patterns, he says to her. You see things people miss. So tell me, what's Chenbo's pattern? What does he do when he doesn't get what he wants? Zara thinks for a moment. He escalates, but slowly. He doesn't destroy things right away. He waits. He pressures. He makes people think they still have choices, and they really don't. So he's not coming tonight to kill us? No. He's coming to collect me, like we agreed. And if you're not here? Zara's eyes widen slightly, understanding. Then he has to find me. And finding me takes time. Time you can use. Dae-hun nods. We move you again. Somewhere he doesn't expect. Somewhere he can't track. But I'm still trackable, Zara says. As long as Mom has that phone, they know where she is, and those should assume I'm with her. Camila goes pale. So what are you saying? Zara looks at her mother with an expression no 8-year-old should have. I'm saying we need to split up. You stay here with the phone, make them think I'm still with you. And I go somewhere else with him. She points at Dae-hun. No, Camilla says immediately. Absolutely not. I'm not letting you out of my sight. Mom, if we stay together, they take both of us. If we split up, at least one of us survives. That's not... She's right, Dae-hun interrupts. Camila turns on him with fury in her eyes. You want to take my daughter? I want to keep her alive. And right now, the best way to do that is to make Chenbo think she's still with you while I move her somewhere secure. Where? Dae-hun pulls out his phone, sends a message. Somewhere even I won't know until we get there. The argument lasts 20 minutes. Camila refuses. Dae-hun insists. Zara sits quietly, watching both of them fight over her like she's not even in the room. Finally, the girl speaks. Mom, stop. Camila turns to her daughter, tears streaming down her face. Baby, I can't let you go with him. I can't. You have to. No, I don't. We can run. We can leave Seoul. We can go somewhere they'll never find us. There is nowhere they won't find us, Zara says calmly. You know that. Grandfather ran, and they've been hunting him for 25 years. We run, and they'll hunt us just as long. So what do we do? Zara stands up from the couch, walks over to her mother. She's so small. Her head barely reaches Camila's chest. But when she speaks, her voice carries weight that doesn't match her size. We make them think they won. We give them what they expect. You stay here with the phone. You answer when Chenbo calls. You tell him I'm asleep, or in the bathroom, or playing in the next room. For how long? As long as you can. Long enough for Mr. Kang to get me somewhere safe. Camila looks at Dae-hun with distrust and desperation mixed together. And then what? You just keep her? You use her the same way Chenbo wants to use her? No, Dae-hun says firmly. I protect her until we can figure out how to end this. How do you end something like this? These people don't stop. They don't forgive. They don't forget. I know. Because I'm one of those people. The honesty of it lands hard. Dae-hyun continues. I've spent 20 years building power by knowing things other people don't know, by controlling information, by making people afraid of what I might do. Chen Bo is playing the same game. The only way to beat him is to play better. And you think you can? I think your daughter already is. Everyone looks at Zara. The girl stands there in her pajamas and bare feet, looking far too calm for someone whose life is being negotiated. I'm not just remembering things, Zara says quietly. I've been figuring things out. Camila frowns. What do you mean? The phone calls. The ones I've been translating for Mr. Kang. I haven't been telling him everything. Dae-hyun's entire body goes rigid. What? Zara looks at him without apology. Some of the things they said weren't about you. They were about other people, other plans, things that would have distracted you or made you do something stupid. Like what? Like 3 days ago, when that man called about the shipment from Busan. He said it was a trap, that Wei Huang's people were waiting for you at the dock. You were about to go there. Dae-hyun remembers. He'd been planning to personally oversee that shipment. Changed his mind at the last minute. I told you the shipment was delayed, Zara continues. It wasn't. I just knew if you went, you'd die. Camila's hand goes to her mouth. Dae-hyun stares at this 8-year-old who's been protecting him by lying to him. What else haven't you told me? Zara takes a breath. The phone call 2 weeks ago, when the man said your accounts were compromised. He was testing you, seeing if you'd panic and move money. I told you he said the accounts were fine, because if you'd moved anything, they would have tracked where it went. How did you know it was a test? Because of how he said it, his tone, the pauses. He was reading from a script, waiting to see what you'd do. Dae-hyun's mind is reeling. You've been filtering information, deciding what I should know. Yes. For how long? Since the first call. Since I realized they weren't just trying to hurt you. They were trying to control you. To make you predictable. She walks over to Dae-hyun, looks up at him. That's why Chen Bo wants me. Not because I can translate. Anyone can translate. He wants me because I can see patterns. I know when people are lying. I know what they're really saying underneath the words. And you've been doing that for me. Yes. But I've also been doing it for them. The room goes cold. Camila steps forward. What does that mean? Zara doesn't look at her mother, keeps her eyes on Dae-hyun. When Mom makes her phone calls to Chen Bo, when she reports what's happening, I've been listening. And I've been telling her what to say. Zara, Camila's voice breaks. I had to, Mom. If you told him the truth, he'd know Mr. Kang was getting too strong. He'd move faster. We'd have less time. So you've been feeding him false information through your mother. Zara nods. Small things. Little details that seem true but aren't quite right. Dates that are off by a day. Names that are slightly wrong. Enough to make Chen Bo think he's still in control when he's actually falling behind. Dae-hyun almost smiles. Almost. This child has been running a counterintelligence operation from his breakfast table. Does Chen Bo suspect? Not yet, but he will soon. That's why tonight matters. That's why he's coming to collect me now instead of waiting longer. He's starting to notice the information isn't matching reality. And when he notices, he'll kill everyone involved. Mom, you, anyone who's been in contact with me. He'll erase the entire problem and start over. Daehyun pulls out his phone, texts Jiwon 3 words. Move her now. Jiwon appears from his position by the door. Where? Somewhere no one knows about. Not me, not anyone in our organization. You pick the location. You tell no one, not even me. Jiwon understands immediately. If Daehyun doesn't know where Zara is, he can't accidentally reveal it. Can't be tortured for it. Can't let it slip. What about supplies? How long? 3 days minimum, maybe a week. Camila grabs Zara's hand. No, this is insane. She's 8 years old. You can't just hide her somewhere alone. She won't be alone, Jiwon says quietly. I'll stay with her. And I'm supposed to just trust you? Jiwon looks at Camila with the kind of honesty that can't be faked. I have a daughter. She's 6. If someone came for her the way they're coming for yours, I'd want someone like me protecting her. Camila's face crumples, but she doesn't let go of Zara's hand. Zara squeezes back. Mom, it's okay. I'll be okay. You don't know that. I do, because I've seen how this ends. Everyone stops, stares at her. What do you mean? Daehyun asks. Zara's voice is quiet but certain. I've been listening to Chenbo for months. I know how he thinks. I know what he does when he's winning, and what he does when he's losing. And right now, he thinks he's winning. But he's not. He's made 3 mistakes. What mistakes? Zara holds up one finger. First, he thinks I'm just a tool, something he can use and control. He doesn't realize I've been studying him the same way he's been studying everyone else. Second finger. Second, he thinks Mom is weak, that she'll do anything to protect me. He's right about that, but he doesn't understand that her weakness is also her strength. She'll sacrifice herself. He'll never see it coming. Third finger. Third, he thinks you're like everyone else he's controlled. Predictable, greedy, afraid, but you're not. She looks up at Daehyun with those 2 knowing eyes. You're the first person who's ever asked me what I think instead of just telling me what to do. That makes you dangerous to him, because he can't predict someone who listens. Daehyun crouches down to her level. So what do you think? How does this end? Zara is quiet for a long moment. Then she says something that makes everyone in the room go still. I think I need to meet my grandfather. Not because Chenbo wants me to. Because he's the only person who knows how to stop this. He has the information, the records, the proof of everything Wei Huang and Chenbo have done. And then what? Then we give Chenbo exactly what he wants. We tell him where grandfather is. We let him think he's won. But Zara's small face hardens into something that looks far too much like her grandfather. But we make sure the information grandfather has gets released the moment Chenbo arrives. Every name, every account, every crime. We burn down the entire network at once. Camila gasps.
That would destroy thousands of people. Criminals, yes, but also innocent people caught in the middle. Better than letting them keep doing what they're doing, Zara says flatly. Daehyun stares at this 8-year-old girl, planning the destruction of a criminal empire like she's deciding what to have for breakfast. You've thought about this. I think about everything. And you think your grandfather will help? I think he's been waiting for someone to ask. He's been hiding for 25 years with all that information. Maybe he's ready to stop hiding. Daehyun stands, makes a decision. Jiwon, take her. Now. Don't tell me where. Check in every 12 hours. Use the encrypted line. Jiwon nods, moves toward Zara. Camila pulls her daughter into a desperate hug, whispers things in her ear that no one else can hear. Zara hugs back, small arms around her mother's waist. I love you, Camila says through tears.
I love you too, Mom. But I need you to be strong now. Can you do that? Camila nods, even though she's falling apart. Zara pulls back, looks up at Daehyun one more time. Don't underestimate Chenbul. He survived this long because he's smart. Smarter than Wei. Maybe smarter than you. But not smarter than you. Zara almost smiles. I'm 8. I don't have to be smart. I just have to pay attention. And with that, she takes Jiwon's hand and walks toward the door. At the threshold, she stops, turns back. One more thing, she says. The reason Chenbul is coming tonight specifically, it's not random. Why tonight? Because tomorrow is the anniversary. The day my grandfather disappeared. The day he took everything. Her eyes are dark, knowing. Chenbul thinks tonight he gets his revenge. But really, tonight is when everything grandfather planned finally happens. What did he plan? Zara's voice is barely a whisper. Me. And then she's gone. The safe house feels empty without Zara. Daehyun stands by the window, watching the street below, waiting for movement that hasn't come yet. Camila sits on the couch, her secret phone clutched in both hands. She hasn't stopped staring at it since Zara left. 2 hours pass in silence. Then the phone buzzes. Camila's entire body goes rigid. Her hands shake as she looks at the screen. It's him, she whispers. Daehyun crosses the room in 3 strides. Don't answer yet. Let it ring twice. Make it seem normal. Camila nods, waits. The phone buzzes a second time. She answers. Hello? Her voice is steady, practiced. A male voice speaks in Mandarin. Calm, patient. The voice of someone who's never had to raise it to be obeyed. Camila listens, responds quietly. Her face gives nothing away. The conversation lasts less than a minute. When she hangs up, her hands are trembling again. What did he say? Daehyun asks. He's coming in 1 hour. He wants to collect Zara personally. He said I should have her ready. Clean clothes, a bag packed, like she's going on a trip. What did you tell him? That she's getting dressed, that she knows, that she's not fighting it. Did he believe you? Camila's eyes are hollow. I think so. He said something else, though. What? He said to tell her not to be afraid. That grandfather is looking forward to meeting her. Daehyun's jaw tightens. He's using her grandfather as bait. making her think this is a family reunion instead of a kidnapping. She already knows what it is. She's not stupid. I know she's not. That's what worries me. Camila looks up at him. What do you mean? I mean, your daughter is 8 years old, and she's thinking 10 moves ahead. She's planning something we don't know about yet. She's a child. She's a weapon, disguised as a child. Daehyun says flatly. And whoever her father was, whoever your father is, they gave her something that makes her more dangerous than any of us. Camila stands abruptly. Don't talk about her like that. She's not a weapon. She's my daughter. She can be both. The words hang between them. Before Camila can respond, Daehyun's phone buzzes. Message from Ji-won. Secure. She's drawing. Daehyun frowns. Texts back. Drawing what? Response comes 30 seconds later. She won't say, but she wants you to see it when it's done. Daehyun stares at the message. An hour passes. Chenbo doesn't arrive. Camila's phone buzzes again. Different message this time. Her face goes pale as she reads. What? Daehyun demands. He changed his mind. He's not coming tonight. He's sending someone else. Someone I need to let into the house without question. Who? He didn't say. 20 minutes later, there's a knock at the door. Soft, polite. Not the sound of people coming to kill. Daehyun draws his gun, positions himself where he can see the entrance but can't be seen immediately. Camila opens the door. A woman stands there. Korean, late 50s. Elegant gray hair. Expensive but understated clothing. She looks like someone's wealthy aunt coming for a visit. She smiles warmly at Camila. Hello, I'm here to see the girl. Her Korean is perfect, educated. But there's something underneath it. An accent that's been carefully smoothed over, but not quite erased. Who are you? Camila asks. My name is Aju Park, but you can call me grandmother. I've come a long way to meet Zara. Daehyun steps out from his position, gun still in hand. The woman doesn't flinch, just looks at him with mild interest. Kang Daehyun, she says. I've heard so much about you. You look just like your father did at your age. Same eyes, same anger. Daehyun's blood goes cold. How do you know my father? Everyone in our world knows Park Sung-ho, or knew him when he was still someone worth knowing. She steps inside without being invited, looks around the sparse safe house with faint disappointment. Chenbo sent you? Daehyun asks. Chenbo asked me to come. I chose to accept. There's a difference. What difference? Aju Park sits down on the couch like she owns it, folds her hands in her lap. Chenbo thinks I'm here to collect Zara, to bring her to him so he can use her to find her grandfather. But I'm actually here for a different reason. What reason? To give you this. She reaches into her purse. Daehyun's gun comes up immediately. She pauses, smiles slightly. I'm not armed, Mr. Kang. I'm 73 years old. My weapon is information, not violence. She pulls out a folded piece of paper, sets it on the coffee table. Zara drew this 3 days ago, according to Chenbo's records. One of his people photographed it before your maid threw it away. Camila steps forward. I never threw away any of her drawings. Then perhaps Zara threw it away herself, knowing someone would find it. Daehyun picks up the paper, unfolds it. It's a child's drawing, colorful, messy. Flowers and trees and a house with a blue roof.
At first glance, it's completely innocent.
But then Daehan looks closer. The flowers aren't random. They're arranged in patterns, specific numbers of petals, specific positions. The trees have marks on their trunks, not natural, deliberate. The house has windows. Each window has a different number of panes. "What is this?" he asks quietly. Aju Park leans forward. "That is a map, hidden in a child's drawing. Your 8-year-old translator just told Chen Bo exactly where her grandfather is hiding." Camila gasps. "No, she wouldn't." "She did. The number of petals on each flower represents coordinates. The marks on the trees are directional markers. The windows indicate which building in the village. Chen Bo's people decoded it yesterday." Daehan stares at the drawing, at the careful chaos that looks random, but isn't. "Why are you telling us this?" he asks Aju Park. "Because Chen Bo is going to Jeju Island tonight. He's taking 30 men. He's going to find her grandfather. And when he does, he's going to kill him and take everything he's been hiding for 25 years. And you don't want that to happen." Aju Park's expression hardens. "I want exactly that to happen. I want Chen Bo to walk into the trap Zara just set for him." The room goes silent. "What trap?" Daehan asks slowly. Aju Park stands, walks to the window, looks out at the city. "That drawing isn't showing Chen Bo where her grandfather is. It's showing him where he used to be. 3 months ago, her grandfather moved. But Chen Bo doesn't know that. How do you know?" She turns back to face them. "Because I'm the one who helped him move. I'm the one who's been protecting him for the past 5 years. And I'm the one who told Zara's grandfather that his granddaughter was brilliant enough to help us end this." Camila's voice is barely a whisper. "You know my father?" "I married his brother. Your uncle died 15 years ago, but your father and I stayed close. He's been planning this for decades, waiting for the right moment, the right person." She looks at where Zara should be standing. He found her. A child too young to be suspected, too smart to be stopped. And now she's doing exactly what he trained her to do, without ever meeting her. "What did he train her to do?" Daehyun demands. Aju Park pulls out another piece of paper. This one isn't a child's drawing. It's a photograph of Zara, sitting at Daehyun's breakfast table, drawing. He trained her to be exactly where she needed to be when everything fell apart. In your home, earning your trust, learning your world, becoming valuable enough that you'd protect her. She sets the photo on the table. "Your daughter isn't being hunted, Ms. Okonkwo. She's been hunting them. For 25 years, her grandfather has been waiting for someone in the family with the gift, the ability to see patterns, to understand languages, to move through spaces without being noticed. And Zara has it. Zara perfected it, without training, without instruction, just pure instinct. She's everything her grandfather hoped for, and more." Daehyun's grip tightens on his gun. "So what happens now?" Now Chen Bo goes to Jeju Island. He finds an empty house. And while he's there, searching for a man who isn't there, Zara's grandfather releases everything. Every name, every account, every crime committed in the last 30 years. To who? To everyone. Police, media, governments, rival organizations. He burns it all down at once. And Chen Bo? Chen Bo becomes the most wanted man in 4 countries, overnight. Every law enforcement agency will be looking for him. Every rival will be hunting him. he'll have nowhere to run. Camila sits down slowly. My father planned this before Zara was born. Yes, he planned for the possibility that one of his descendants would inherit the gift. He prepared everything. The records, the safe houses, the network of people like me who hate what Wei Huang and Chen Bo built. She looks at both of them. Your daughter just executed a plan that's been waiting 25 years to happen. And she did it without knowing she was doing it. That's how brilliant she is. Daehyun's mind is racing. If Chen Bo figures out it's a trap, he won't. Not until it's too late. Because right now, he thinks he's finally winning. He thinks he finally has what he's been looking for. And Zara? Where does she fit in after tonight? Aju Park's expression softens. She gets to be a child again. That's the deal her grandfather made. One generation of sacrifice to free the next. She helps us end this, and then she gets to grow up safe. If she survives. She'll survive. Because you're going to protect her. That's why her grandfather made sure she ended up in your house, not Chen Bo's, not Wei Huang's. Yours. Why me? Because you're the only person in this entire world who actually cares whether she lives or dies beyond her usefulness. The words land hard. Daehyun looks at the drawing again, at the coordinates hidden in flowers, at the trap an 8-year-old set for a man who spent decades destroying lives. His phone buzzes. Message from Ji-won. Drawing is finished. Sending photo now. The image loads. It's another drawing, different from the first. This one shows people. Stick figures with labels. 3 adults, 1 child. The child is in the center, arms spread wide, protecting the 3 adults behind her. Underneath, in careful letters, Zara has written 5 words. This is how it ends. Daehyun stares at the drawing on his phone. The stick figure child with arms spread wide. The 3 adults behind her. One adult is labeled Mom. Another is labeled Mr. Kong. The third has no label, just a question mark. Who's the third person? He asks, showing the phone to Aju Park. The old woman looks at the image. Her expression doesn't change. That would be me, she says calmly. Or perhaps her grandfather. The drawing is intentionally ambiguous. Your translator is very careful about what she reveals. She knew you were coming. She knew someone was coming. She's been listening to phone calls for months. She knows Chen Bo's patterns, his associates, his methods. Aju Park walks back to the couch, sits down with the careful precision of someone whose body has betrayed them, but whose mind remains sharp. There's something else you need to understand about Zara, she says. She doesn't just translate languages. She translates intention, subtext, the things people mean but don't say. I know that, Daehyun says. I've seen it. Then you know she's been playing all of us. Not maliciously, but strategically. She's been giving each person exactly what they need to hear to keep her mother safe. Camila's voice is tight. What does that mean? It means she told Chun Bol where her grandfather was, because she knew it would buy time. She told you she'd figured it out 2 years ago to make you feel responsible. She told Mr. Kong just enough to make him protective, but not enough to make him suspicious. Aju Park's eyes are kind, but firm.
Your daughter is the most skilled manipulator I've ever encountered. And she's 8 years old. She's not manipulating anyone, Camila says defensively. She's surviving. They're the same thing, dear. Survival is manipulation, especially for people like us. People who have nothing but our minds to protect us. Daehyun sits down. You said her grandfather has been planning this for 25 years. Planning what, exactly? Planning the complete destruction of the network he helped build. Wei Huang and Chun Bo turned something that moved goods and information into something that trafficked children. Zara's grandfather couldn't stop it alone. So he took the evidence and waited. Waited for what? For the right weapon. Someone who could get close to the power structure. Someone who could see the patterns.
Someone young enough to be underestimated and smart enough to be deadly. She looks at the drawing again. He found her, his granddaughter, born with the gift, raised by a mother who had to teach her to survive in shadows. Perfect. But he's never met her, Camilla says. How could he plan around someone he's never met? Because he knows the gift runs in the family. He has it. I suspect you have some version of it, though not as strong. And Zara... Aju Park pauses. Zara is what happens when the gift gets concentrated, enhanced, perfected over generations. Daehyun's phone buzzes again. Another message from Jiwon. She wants to talk to you. Encrypted line in 5 minutes. Daehyun looks at Aju Park. You said Chen Bo is going to Jeju Island tonight. Yes. He's leaving within the hour. And Zara's grandfather isn't there. Correct. So where is he? Aju Park smiles slightly. Closer than you think. Closer than Chen Bo could ever imagine. Before Daehyun can press further, his encrypted phone rings. He answers, puts it on speaker. Zara's voice comes through, small but clear. Mr. Kang? I'm here. Is the grandmother there? Everyone looks at Aju Park. Yes, Daehyun says slowly. How did you know? Because it's time. The pieces are all moving now. Everyone is where they're supposed to be. Zara, what's happening? Chen Bo is going to Jeju Island. He's taking his best people. That means Seoul will be vulnerable. That means you can move. Move where? To grandfather's real location. To get the records before anyone else does. Daehyun's chest tightens. You know where he really is. I've always known. I just couldn't tell anyone until now. Until everyone was committed. Until there was no turning back. Her voice is calm. Too calm for a child hiding in a safe house while people hunt her. Where is he, Zara? Silence on the line. Then, he's in Seoul. He's been in Seoul the whole time. Living 2 blocks from where you grew up. The room explodes. Camila jumps up. That's impossible. He disappeared from Shanghai. He's been hiding for... He's been hiding in plain sight. Zara interrupts. Under a different name. Different identity. He's been watching everything. Recording everything. Waiting. Aju Park nods slowly. She's right. I've been bringing him supplies for 5 years. He lives in a small apartment in Bukchon. Works as a translator for legal firms. No one suspects an old Korean man who keeps to himself. Daehyun's mind races. If he's been here the whole time, Why send Chinbo to Jeju Island? Because grandfather wants Chinbo far away when the information drops. He wants him isolated, exposed, with no way to stop what's coming. And what is coming? Zara's voice drops lower. In 3 hours, at midnight exactly, every piece of evidence grandfather has collected will be sent to 200 people. Police chiefs, prosecutors, journalists, government officials, rival organizations. Everyone. Simultaneously? Yes. Automated. Can't be stopped once it's triggered. And when Chinbo finds out, he'll try to run. But there won't be anywhere to run to. Every border will be watching. Every airport. Every port. He'll be trapped. Daehyun looks at Aju Park. You helped set this up. I helped refine it. But the core plan has always been your translator's grandfather. He's been orchestrating this for decades. We're all just playing the parts he wrote. Including Zara. Especially Zara. She's the final piece. The one he's been waiting for. On the phone, Zara speaks again. Mr. Kang, you need to go to grandfather now. Before midnight. The address is... Wait. Daehyun interrupts. If I go there, if anyone sees me going to that address, it exposes him. No one will see. Because Chinbo's people are all heading to Jeju Island right now. And Wei Huang's people think you're still at the safe house with Mom. How do you know what Wei Huang's people think? Because I've been listening to their calls too, not just Chenbo's. All of them. For months. I know where everyone is. Where everyone thinks everyone else is. I know the entire map. The certainty in her 8-year-old voice is terrifying. Daehyun stands. What does your grandfather want from me? Protection. Once the information drops, everyone will want him dead. You're the only person with enough power to keep him alive long enough for the information to do its work. And in exchange? He gives you everything. Every name in the network. Every person who's been helping Wei and Chembol, including the people in your own organization. Daehyun's jaw clenches. There are people in my organization working for them? 3 people. Grandfather knows who they are. He'll tell you. But only if you get to him before midnight. Camila moves toward the phone. Zara, baby, I need to know you're safe. I'm safe, Mom. Duan is here. He won't let anything happen to me. But when this is over, we'll be free. Really free. Not hiding. Not running. Not reporting to anyone. You promise? I promise. This is the end, Mom. The real end. Aju Park stands. I'll take you to him. We need to leave now. Chenbo's people won't be gone long. 2 hours at most once they realize the Jeju Island address is empty. Daehyun looks at Camila. Stay here. Keep the phone. If Chenbo calls, tell him Zara is asleep. Tell him whatever he needs to hear. And if he doesn't believe me? Then you run. Jiwon will send you a location. Get there and don't look back. Camila nods, tears streaming down her face. Daehyun turns back to the phone. Zara, if this goes wrong... It won't. Grandfather doesn't make mistakes. He's had 25 years to make sure every detail is perfect. People always make mistakes. Not him. That's why everyone's afraid of him. Not because he's violent. Because he's patient. And patience always wins. The line goes quiet for a moment. Then Zara's voice comes back, softer. Mr. Kang, Yes? Thank you for protecting us, for not treating me like a tool, for being different than them. Something in Daehyun's chest tightens. Stay safe, Zara. You too. The line goes dead. Aju Park is already at the door. We walk, no cars, no drivers. Just two people walking through the neighborhood like we're going to visit family. Daehyun follows her out into the night. The streets of Seoul are bright with artificial light. People walk past without noticing them. Just another young man and an older woman navigating the evening crowds. They walk for 15 minutes, through alleys, past restaurants and shops, into the old neighborhood of Bukchon, where traditional Hanok houses sit between modern buildings. Aju Park stops in front of a small apartment building. 4 floors. Nothing special. The kind of place where people live quiet lives and don't ask their neighbors questions. 3rd floor, she says. Apartment 304. Knock 3 times. Wait. Knock twice more. You're not coming? I've done my part. The rest is between you and him. She turns and walks away, disappearing into the crowd before Daehyun can ask anything else. He enters the building, climbs the stairs. 3rd floor, apartment 304. He knocks 3 times. Waits. Knocks twice more. The door opens slowly. An old man stands there. Korean features, gray hair, kind eyes. He's wearing simple clothes. Reading glasses hang from a chain around his neck. He looks like someone's gentle grandfather. But his eyes see everything. Kang Daehyun, the old man says in perfect Korean, then switches to Mandarin, then English. I've been waiting for you. My granddaughter speaks very highly of you. Come in. He steps aside. Daehyun walks into an apartment filled with filing cabinets, computers, screens showing news feeds from 4 countries. And in the center of it all, a single photograph. Of Zara, age 4, holding her mother's hand. The old man follows Daehyun's gaze. I've been watching her entire life, he says quietly. Making sure she was safe. Making sure she developed the gift. Making sure she ended up exactly where she needed to be when the time came. He turns to face Daehyun. My name is Li Wei, but you probably know me by a different name. The name your world whispers when they talk about the ghost who took everything and disappeared. Daehyun's blood runs cold. You're the broker. The original broker. The one who started all of this. Yes. I built the network. I watched it become a monster. And now, Li Wei looks at the clock on the wall. In 2 hours and 47 minutes, I'm going to burn it all down. He smiles. And in that smile, Daehyun sees exactly where Zara got her terrifying calm. The question is, Li Wei says, are you ready to help me? Or are you going to try to stop me? Daehyun doesn't answer immediately. He walks slowly around the apartment, taking in every detail. The filing cabinets labeled by year, the computers running encryption software, the walls covered in photographs connected by red string like a detective's murder board. Except these aren't murders. These are transactions, shipments, money transfers. Each photograph shows a face. Each face has a name. Each name has a crime attached to it. 30 years of evidence. Li Wei watches him with patient eyes, the kind of patience that comes from decades of waiting for exactly the right moment. You don't trust me, the old man observes. Smart. You manipulated your granddaughter into position, Daehyun says flatly. You used her mother as a spy. You orchestrated everything from shadows while people died. Why should I trust you? You shouldn't. Trust is for people who have choices. We don't have choices anymore. We have timing. Li Wei walks to one of the computers, pulls up a screen showing a countdown timer. 2 hours, 34 minutes, 18 seconds. When that timer hits 0, everything in these cabinets, everything on these hard drives, gets sent to 200 carefully selected recipients. Police, prosecutors, journalists who can't be bought, government officials in 4 countries who actually care about the law. He turns back to Daehyun. But here's what you need to understand. I'm not doing this to be a hero. I'm doing this because I'm dying. The words land quietly, matter-of-factly. What? Pancreatic cancer, stage 4. I have maybe 3 months, maybe less. I could have released this information years ago, but I waited. Why? Because I needed insurance. I needed someone in position to protect what matters after I'm gone. And what matters? Miwei walks to the photograph of Zara, touches it gently. Her. She's the only thing that's ever mattered. Everything else, the network, the evidence, the plan, it's all just scaffolding to make sure she survives. Daehyun's chest tightens. So you used her. I protected her. There's a difference. Is there? Miwei's expression hardens. You have no children, Mr. Kong, so you don't understand yet. But when you love someone more than your own life, you do terrible things to keep them safe. You manipulate, you deceive, you sacrifice other people, and you do it without hesitation. He moves closer to Daehyun. I built a criminal empire. I helped move money and weapons and information for people who destroyed lives. I made millions of dollars facilitating evil. And I did it all knowing that one day I would tear it down. Because the only way to keep my family safe was to make sure the network couldn't hunt them anymore. So you waited 25 years. I waited for the right weapon. Someone who could see patterns. Someone who could move through spaces without being noticed. Someone young enough to be underestimated. You waited for Zara. I waited for the possibility of Zara. I didn't know she'd be this perfect, this brilliant, this exactly what I needed. Miwei's voice drops. When she was 4 years old, I had someone test her, play her a recording in Russian. She repeated it perfectly. Then Arabic, then Portuguese. Language after language. Perfect recall. Perfect pronunciation. That's when you knew. That's when I knew she'd inherited the gift at full strength. That's when I started planning how to position her. Daehyun's fists clench. You put Camilla in my house. I suggested it to Chen Bol. He thought he was planting a spy. He didn't know I was planting something much more valuable. Someone who would earn your trust. Someone you'd protect. And if I hadn't protected her, if I'd thrown her out after that first phone call, then you weren't the right person, and I would have moved her somewhere else. But you were the right person, because you saw her value beyond what she could do for you. Li Wei walks back to his desk, pulls out a folder, sets it on the table between them. These are the 3 people in your organization working for Wei Huang and Chen Bol. Names, evidence. Everything you need to remove them before they realize what's happening tonight. Daehyun doesn't reach for the folder yet. What do you want from me? Protection. Not for me. For Camilla and Zara. When this information drops, everyone will want them dead. Everyone who's named in these files will know they're connected to me. They'll hunt my family to send a message. And you want me to stop them. I want you to hide them. Keep them safe until the dust settles. Until the arrests start. Until it becomes more dangerous to go after them than to leave them alone. How long? 3 months. Maybe 4. Long enough for me to die and for the world to forget they exist. Daehyun finally picks up the folder, opens it. 3 names, 3 photographs, 3 people he's trusted. 1 is his accountant, 1 is a district head, 1 is someone who's been with him for 8 years. How do you know they're working for Wei? Because I've been watching your organization for 2 years, listening to calls, tracking money, seeing patterns. The same way Zara does, just slower because I'm old and my mind isn't what it was. Li Wei sits down heavily. For the first time, Daehyun sees how exhausted he is, how much pain he's carrying. Those 3 people have been reporting your movements for 18 months. They're how Chen Bo knew about Vladivostok, how he knew about your meeting schedules, how he knew where you lived and when you'd be vulnerable. But not anymore. No, not since Zara started filtering information through her mother. She's been feeding false intelligence through those 3 people without them knowing, making them look unreliable, making Chen Bo trust them less. Daehyun stares at the names. She's been playing counterintelligence for months. She's been protecting you, the same way I taught her mother to protect her. It's what our family does. We survive by being smarter than the people hunting us. The timer on the computer screen ticks down. 2 hours, 12 minutes, 5 seconds. What happens at midnight? Daehyun asks. Exactly. Every file gets sent simultaneously. 200 emails to 200 people who can't ignore what they receive. Names, dates, bank accounts, photographs, video evidence, everything needed to destroy the network. And Chen Bo? Chen Bo will be in Jeju Island, searching an empty house. By the time he realizes it's a trap, the information will already be out. He'll have nowhere to run. What about Wei Huang? Li Wei's expression darkens. Wei is the real target. Chen Bo is just a soldier. Wei built this empire on the bones of children. He's the one I want destroyed most. Where is he? Beijing, protected by people who owe him favors. But once this information drops, those protections evaporate. Everyone will turn on him to save themselves. Daehyun walks to the window, looks out at Seoul glittering below. And after midnight? When the information is out and people start dying? Then you take Camilla and Zara somewhere safe. Somewhere not even I know about. And you keep them alive until the killing stops. That could take years. It won't. Once the network collapses, the survivors will turn on each other. They'll be too busy saving themselves to hunt my family. 3 months. Maybe 4. That's all I need. Li Wei stands. Walks over to Daehyun. Puts a hand on his shoulder. I'm asking you to do something impossible. To protect 2 people everyone will want dead. To go against your own organization to keep them safe. I'm asking you to sacrifice power for principle. Why would I do that? Because you're not like us. Not like Wei, not like Chen Bo, not even like me. You're the kind of man who protects an 8-year-old child who saves your life instead of using her as a weapon. Li Wei's grip tightened slightly. That's why I positioned her with you. That's why I trusted you with my family. Because you're the only person in this entire world who might actually choose them over power.
Dae-hyun doesn't respond immediately. He thinks about Zara, about the way she sits at his breakfast table, cutting pancakes into perfect squares, about the way she translates death threats with the same calm she uses to ask for juice, about the way she looked at him and said, "Thank you for being different than them."
Where is she now?
Li Wei asks quietly.
Safe. With someone I trust. Good. Keep her there until morning. By then, the killing will have started. By then, Seoul won't be safe for anyone connected to me. And you? I'll be here, waiting, making sure the timer runs down, making sure nothing stops what's about to happen.
Dae-hyun turns to face him.
You're not coming with us. No. They'll kill you. Yes. But I'm already dying. Better to die making sure this works than to die hiding in a hospital bed.
Li Wei walks back to his desk, sits down in front of his computers.
You should go. Take the folder. Remove those 3 people from your organization before they realize what's happening. And then, get to Camilla. Get her out of the safe house. Chenbo's people will be back from Jeju Island in 3 hours when they realize I'm not there. They'll go to her first. Dae-hyun picks up the folder, starts to leave.
At the door, he stops.
Why did you really do this? The truth. Not the story about protecting Zara.
Li Wei is quiet for a long moment. Then he says something that sounds like confession.
Because I destroyed innocent lives to build something that destroyed more innocent lives. Because I told myself it was business, but it was evil. Because I want to die knowing I undid some of the damage I caused.
He looks up at Dae-hyun.
And because my granddaughter deserves better than to inherit my sins. She deserves to grow up without blood on her hands. This is how I give her that.
Dae-hyun nods slowly, understanding.
Will I ever see you again? No. But you'll see Zara grow up. You'll see her become something neither of us can imagine. And maybe that's enough.
Li Wei smiles sadly.
Tell her I'm proud of her. Tell her she was perfect. Tell her grandfather kept his promise. What promise? That she'd be free. Really free. No matter what it cost.
Dae-hyun leaves the apartment. The door closes behind him. As he walks down the stairs, he hears the sound of locks clicking into place. Li Wei barricading himself inside, preparing for what comes next. Dae-hyun pulls out his phone, texts Ji-won.
Get Zara to extraction point. Now. Don't wait.
Then he opens the folder Li Wei gave him. 3 names stare back at him. 3 people who've been betraying him for 18 months. 3 people he needs to deal with in the next 2 hours. The timer on Li Wei's computer counts down. 2 hours, 3 minutes, 47 seconds, until everything burns. Dae-hyun doesn't go back to the safe house immediately. First, he makes 3 phone calls.
The first call is to his accountant, Park Min-so, trusted for 8 years, family man, 2 daughters, always reliable, always reporting to Wei Huang. I need you at the office, Dae-hyun says. His voice is calm, normal. There's a discrepancy in the Busan accounts. Now? It's almost 10 o'clock. Now. Min-so sighs. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Dae-hyun hangs up. Second call. Cho Dae-jung, district head, controls the Western territories. Ambitious, but loyal. Except the loyalty was always to someone else. Emergency meeting, Dae-hyun says. Just the senior leadership. My office. 1 hour. What's the emergency? You'll find out when you get there. He hangs up before Cho can ask more questions. Third call. Lee Yuna, his logistics coordinator. The person who knows every shipment, every route, every transaction. The person who's been leaking every detail to Chen Bo for 18 months. I need you to pull the files on the Vladivostok deal, Dae-hyun says. All of them. I think we missed something. I can send them digitally. No. Hard copies. I want to see the originals. My office. 30 minutes. Yuna hesitates. Just barely. Just enough that Dae-hyun knows Lee Wei was right. I'll be there, she says. Dae-hyun hangs up. Then he texts Ji-won. 3 people coming to office. Don't let any of them leave. Response comes immediately. Understood. Dae-hyun gets into his car, drives through Seoul's night traffic. The city is bright, alive. People walking home from restaurants, couples holding hands. Normal life happening all around him. In 97 minutes, none of this will be normal anymore. He arrives at his office building, takes the private elevator to the top floor. Ji-won is already there, standing by the door like a statue. They're in the conference room, Ji-won says quietly. All 3. They don't know about each other yet. Good. Keep it that way. Dae-hyun walks into his private office, closes the door, opens Lee Wei's folder. Inside are 3 separate files, 1 for each traitor. Pak Min-seo, recruited by Wei Huang 4 years ago. Paid monthly through offshore account. Compromised by gambling debts initially, then greed. Has been reporting financial movements, account locations, investment strategies. Cho Dae-jung, approached by Chen Bul 2 years ago. Promised his own territory if he provided intelligence. Has been reporting meeting schedules, security protocols, personnel movements. Lee Yuna, sister held hostage in Shanghai. Forced to cooperate or sister dies. Most recent intelligence, Vladivostok deal, safe house locations, current protection details for high-value individuals. Dae-hyun reads each file twice. One is greedy, one is ambitious. One is being blackmailed. Different motivations, same betrayal. His phone buzzes. Message from Ji-won. They're getting restless, asking questions. Dae-hyun stands, walks to the conference room. All 3 are sitting at the long glass table. Min-seo looks annoyed. Cho looks curious. Yuna looks nervous. They should all be nervous. Thank you for coming, Dae-hyun says, sitting at the head of the table. I know it's late, but we have a problem. What kind of problem? Cho asks. The kind that ends careers. Or lives. Depending on how honest people are in the next 10 minutes. The temperature in the room drops. Min-seo shifts in his seat. Boss, if this is about the Busan accounts, I can explain. It's not about Busan. It's about Shanghai. And Beijing. And 18 months of someone in this organization feeding information to Wei Huang and Chen Bul. All 3 faces go carefully blank. I don't know what you're talking about, Cho says. Really? Because I have bank records showing payments from Wei Huang's accounts to yours. Offshore accounts you thought were hidden. They're not. Cho's jaw tightens. That's impossible. Is it? Dae-hyun pulls out the file, slides it across the table. Your account in the Caymans.
Monthly deposits. $40,000.
Every time you report information, the payment comes through within 24 hours. Cho doesn't pick up the file, just stares at it. Dae-hyun turns to Min-seo. And you, gambling debts in Macau? $500,000 you couldn't pay. Until suddenly you could, because Wei Huang paid them for you, in exchange for access to our financial systems. Min-seo's face goes white. Finally, Dae-hyun looks at Yuna. His voice softens slightly. And you, your sister, Yuna Min-hee, age 23, disappeared from Seoul University 2 years ago. You've been looking for her ever since. Except you're not looking anymore, because you know exactly where she is. Tears form in Yuna's eyes. She's in Shanghai. Dae-hyun continues quietly, being held by Chen Bo's people. They told you if you cooperate, she lives. If you don't, she dies. And you believed them. Yuna's hands are shaking on the table. I'm sorry, she whispers. I didn't have a choice. Everyone has a choice. You chose your sister. I understand that. But you also chose to betray everyone else who trusted you. What are you going to do to us? Min-seo asks. His voice is thin, afraid. Dae-hyun stands, walks to the window, looks out at Seoul. Normally, I'd kill all 3 of you. Quietly, efficiently. Make it look like accidents or disappearances. Send a message to anyone else thinking about betraying me. He turns back to face them. But tonight isn't normal. Tonight, the entire network you've been reporting to is about to collapse. He checks his watch. 73 minutes. Evidence of every crime Wei Huang and Chen Bo have committed for 30 years gets released to law enforcement in 4 countries. All 3 people at the table go rigid. What? Cho breathes. You heard me. Every name, every account, every crime. All of it. Going to people who can't be bought, who won't look away, who will prosecute everyone involved. That's not possible, Min-seo says. That information is protected, hidden. No one person has all of it. One person did. Li Wei, the original broker, the ghost everyone thought was dead. He's very much alive, and he's been collecting evidence for 25 years. Dae-hyun lets that sink in. So here's what's going to happen. You 3 are going to sit here until midnight. You're not leaving. You're not making phone calls. You're not warning anyone. You're going to sit here and wait for the information to drop. And then what? Yuna asks quietly. And then you decide. Do you run? Do you cooperate with the investigations? Do you try to negotiate immunity by testifying against Wei and Chen Bo? He looks at each of them. I'm giving you a choice. More than you gave me. More than you deserve. But I'm giving it to you anyway. Why? Cho demands. Why not just kill us? Because an 8-year-old girl asked me not to. The room goes silent. What? Min-seo asks. Dae-hyun pulls out his phone, shows them the drawing Zara sent, the stick figure child with arms spread wide, the 3 adults behind her. This is what she drew. This is how she sees tonight ending. Her protecting people who don't deserve protection, because that's who she is. Even after everything, she still believes people can choose better. He puts the phone away. So I'm honoring that. You get to choose. Sit here, wait for midnight, and then decide what kind of people you want to be after tonight. Yuna's tears are flowing freely now. My sister will be free by morning. Li Wei's evidence includes locations of every person Chen Bo is holding. Your sister's address is in there. Interpol will find her within 24 hours. Yuna covers her face with her hands, sobbing. Daehyun walks to the door. Jiwon will be outside. Don't test him. He leaves them there. 3 people whose lives are about to end or transform. Their choice. His phone rings immediately. Unknown number. He answers. Mr. Kong? The voice is young, calm, familiar.
Zara, I told you not to kill them. I didn't. But you wanted to.
Yes.
Thank you for not wanting to more than you wanted to. Daehyun almost smiles.
Where are you?
Somewhere safe. Jiwon is here. He's making me eat soup. I don't like soup, but he says I need to eat.
Listen to him.
I am. Mr. Kong?
Yes?
I met grandfather on the phone earlier. He called me. Daehyun's chest tightens.
What did he say?
He said he's proud of me. That I did everything right. That I'm exactly what he hoped I'd be. Her voice is small, vulnerable. For the first time tonight, she sounds like an actual 8-year-old instead of a tactical genius. He also said goodbye. He said after midnight he won't be safe to talk to anymore. That this is the last time we'll speak.
Zara.
I know. I know he's dying. I've known for a while. I can hear it in his voice. The way he pauses. The way he gets tired halfway through sentences. She's quiet for a moment. He said you were a good man. That you'd keep us safe. That I chose the right person to trust.
Did you choose me? Or did your grandfather position you with me?
Both. He positioned me. I chose to stay. There's a difference.
Is there?
Yes. Because I could have left after that first phone call. I could have told Mom we needed to run. But I didn't. Because I knew you were different than them.
How did you know?
Because you asked me what I thought. No one ever asks me what I think. They just tell me what to do or assume I don't understand. But you asked. Daehyun closes his eyes.
Zara, when this is over...
When this is over, Mom and I are going to disappear for a while. Somewhere you won't know. Somewhere no one knows. Until it's safe.
I can protect you.
You are protecting us. By letting us go. By not trying to keep us close where people can find us. Her voice is certain. Final. But before we go, I need to tell you something.
Something grandfather made me promise to tell you.
What?
The 3 people in your conference room? They're not the only ones. There's a 4th person. Someone higher up. Someone you trust more than anyone.
Daehyun's blood runs cold.
Who? I don't know their name. Grandfather didn't know either. But he knows they exist. Someone who's been reporting everything for years. Someone so deep you've never suspected them. How do I find them? After midnight, when the information drops, watch who runs first. Watch who disappears before anyone knows to disappear. That's your 4th traitor. Zahra, I have to go. Jiwon says it's time to move again. Just in case. But Mr. Kang? Yes? Thank you. For everything. For being the person grandfather thought you were. For keeping your promise.
What promise?
The one you made when you didn't kill those 3 people. The promise that you're different. That you choose people over power.
The line goes dead. Dae-hyun stands in his office alone. In 61 minutes, everything changes. In 61 minutes, the network burns. In 61 minutes, he finds out who the 4th traitor is. He pulls out his phone, texts everyone in his inner circle. Emergency meeting, my office, now. No exceptions. If there's a 4th traitor, they're about to reveal themselves. Because whoever doesn't show up is the person who already knows to run. The clock on Dae-hyun's wall reads 11:43 p.m. 17 minutes until midnight. His inner circle files into the office one by one. 10 people. The ones who know everything. The ones who have access to every account, every operation, every secret. Ji-won isn't here. He's with Zara, keeping her safe. But everyone else comes. Everyone except... Dae-hyun's phone buzzes. Message from Marcus Washington, his oldest friend. Can't make it. Family emergency. We'll call tomorrow. Dae-hyun stares at the message. Marcus. His business partner. The man who stood beside him when he built this empire.
The one person he trusted without question. The 4th traitor. His hand tightens around the phone. Everyone's here except Marcus, someone says from the conference table. I know, Dae-hyun says quietly. He walks into the room. 10 faces look at him, waiting, confused about why they've been summoned at midnight. Something is about to happen, Dae-hyun says. Something that will change everything we've built. He checks his watch. 14 minutes. Evidence of crimes committed by Wei Huang and Chen Bo will be released to law enforcement in 4 countries. Shocked silence. What evidence? Someone asks. Everything. 30 years of transactions. Names, bank accounts, proof of trafficking, murder, corruption. All of it. How is that possible? Because the original broker, Li Wei, has been alive this entire time, collecting it all. And tonight, he releases it. One of the district heads stands. If that information drops, it'll destroy half the organizations in Asia, including partnerships we depend on. I know. So what do we do? Dae-hyun looks around the room. We survive. We distance ourselves from anyone named in those files. We cooperate with investigations. We prove we're not part of what's about to be exposed. And Marcus? Someone asks carefully. He should be here for this. Marcus is already gone. He knows this was coming. He's been reporting to Wei Huang for years. That's why he's not here. The room erupts. Questions, denials, shock. Dae-hyun lets it happen for 30 seconds, then raises his hand. Silence falls. I have proof. I've known for 3 hours. I gave him a chance to show up tonight, to face this. He chose to run instead. He pulls out his phone, shows them the final file Li Wei provided, the one Dae-hyun only opened 20 minutes ago. Marcus Washington, recruited 12 years ago, before Dae-hyun even met him. Placed in position deliberately. Friendship built on a foundation of intelligence gathering. Every decision, every expansion, every move, all of it reported. No, someone breathes. Marcus was there from the beginning. Marcus was there because Wei Huang put him there. He's been the most valuable asset they had. The one person I never suspected.
Daehyun's voice is cold, empty.
And now he's gone. Probably on a plane to Beijing, running to Wei before the information drops and he becomes worthless. The clock reads 11:51. 9 minutes. Someone's phone buzzes, then another, then all of them. It's starting early, Daehyun says. The first wave. Li Wei must have sent preliminary information to create chaos before the main drop. He watches his people check their phones, watch their faces go pale as they see what's being released. Names they know, organizations they've worked with, proof of crimes they'd only suspected. Boss, someone says quietly. We're named in some of this. I know. For legitimate business, we can prove it. The difference between us and them is we have documentation. Clean books, nothing to hide. But association means investigation. I know. We'll cooperate. We'll survive. They won't. 11:55. 5 minutes. Daehyun's personal phone rings. Unknown number. He answers, puts it on speaker. Kang Daehyun. The voice is old, tired. Li Wei. I'm here. Is she safe? Yes, Ji-won has her. They're moving locations every hour. Good. Good. A wet cough, pain in every breath. I'm watching the news feeds. It's starting. Beijing police just raided 3 locations. Seoul prosecutors received the files 10 minutes ago. It's working. What about you? I'm still in my apartment, waiting. They'll come soon. Wei's people or Chen Bo's. Doesn't matter which. The important thing is, the timer runs out first. Another cough, worse this time. Are you okay? Daehyun asks, knowing the answer. I'm dying, but I'm dying satisfied. My granddaughter is safe. The network is burning. My daughter will finally be free. Li Wei's breathing is labored now.
Tell Zaha something for me. What?
Tell her she was never supposed to be a weapon. She was always supposed to be hope. Hope that one generation could break the cycle. Hope that intelligence could be used to protect instead of destroy.
I'll tell her.
And tell Camilla. His voice breaks. Tell my daughter I'm sorry. Sorry I wasn't there. Sorry I chose this war over raising her. Sorry she had to be strong alone.
She understands.
No, she doesn't. But maybe one day she will. 11:58. 2 minutes. Li Wei, Daehyun says. You still have time. You could run. I could send people. No. I stay here. I make sure nothing stops this. I watch it burn. A long pause. Besides, I'm tired. So tired. I've been fighting for 25 years. Tonight, I rest. You're a good man, Daehyun says. Li Wei laughs. It turns into another cough. No, I'm not. I'm a terrible man who did one good thing at the very end. That doesn't make me good. It just makes me slightly less terrible. 11:59. 1 minute. They're here, Li Wei says suddenly. I can hear them in the hallway, breaking down doors, looking for me. Get out, please. No, I stay. I earned this. Banging in the background, shouting, the sound of wood splintering. 30 seconds, Li Wei says calmly. Tell Zava I kept my promise. Tell her she's free. I will. Tell her. The timer hits midnight. Thousands of files release simultaneously. Emails blast out to 200 recipients in 4 countries. Evidence floods police departments, prosecutors' offices, newsrooms. 30 years of crimes exposed in an instant. On the phone, Li Wei starts laughing. Soft at first, then harder. The laugh of a man who's won his final battle. It's done, he says. It's finally done. Gunshots. 3, 4, 5. The line goes dead. Daehyun stands frozen, phone still pressed to his ear. In his conference room, every phone is exploding with alerts. News breaking. Arrests beginning. Organizations collapsing in real time.
Boss, someone says.
Seoul police just arrested 12 people, including 2 city officials, 3 prosecutors, a deputy commissioner. Beijing is worse, someone else says. 40 arrests already, including Wei Huang's top lieutenants. What about Wei himself? No word yet.
Daehyun walks to the window, watches Seoul's night sky. Somewhere out there, Zara is safe. Camila is safe. They're alive because an old man chose to die protecting them. His phone rings again. This time, it's Ji-won. She heard, Ji-won says quietly. She was listening to a police scanner. She heard about the raid on Bukton. About casualties.
Is she?
She's not crying. She's just sitting here. Very quiet. Very still. She said to tell you grandfather kept his promise. Daehyun's chest tightens.
Let me talk to her.
Rustling. Then Zara's small voice. Mr. Kung?
I'm here.
He's gone, isn't he?
Yes.
Silence. Then, did it work? Is the information out?
Yes. It's everywhere. Arrests are already happening.
Good. That's good. Her voice is steady. Too steady for a child who just lost her grandfather.
Zara, you can cry. You can be sad. You don't have to be strong right now.
I am sad, but I'm also relieved. Grandfather was in pain. He was suffering. Now he's not. And we're free. Really free.
What will you do now?
Mom and I are leaving. Tonight. D1 has a car ready. We're going somewhere far away. Somewhere quiet. Somewhere we can just be normal.
For how long?
I don't know. 3 months? 6 months? Until it's safe. Until no one's looking for us anymore.
And then?
And then maybe I come back. Maybe I finish school. Maybe I become something other than a translator for criminals. She pauses. But probably I'll always be a little bit broken. A little bit too aware. A little bit too good at seeing patterns in chaos.
That's not broken,
Daehyun says.
That's surviving.
Maybe. Or maybe they're the same thing. Voices in the background. Ji-won saying it's time to move.
I have to go, Zara says. But before I do, I need to tell you something. What? The 4th person. The traitor you're looking for. It's not just Marcus. Daehyun goes still. What do you mean? There's a 5th person, too. Someone even deeper.
Someone who's been there longer than Marcus. Someone who's been reporting since before you even took power.
Who?
I don't know their name, but grandfather's files have clues. Look for someone who was close to your mentor. Someone who was there the night he died. Someone who survived when they shouldn't have. Daehyun's mind races back 20 years, to the night his mentor was executed, to the 12 men who betrayed him, to the one person who helped Daehyun survive that night.
No.
Zara, he says slowly.
Are you saying?
I'm saying be careful. I'm saying don't trust anyone completely. I'm saying just because someone saved your life once doesn't mean they're not using you. She's talking about Nam Jun-ho, the man who unlocked the door, the man who made sure Daehyun survived, the man Daehyun has trusted for 20 years.
But I let him go,
Daehyun says.
I gave him the chance to leave.
I know. That's why he'll come back. Because you showed him mercy, and he's not used to that. He'll come back and he'll try to help you. And when he does, you need to decide if you trust him.
Do you trust him?
Zara is quiet for a moment. I don't know. I never heard him on any of the phone calls. Never saw evidence of him in grandfather's files. Either he's the best spy in the world, or he's actually telling the truth about being trapped.
So what do I do?
You watch. You wait. And when he shows up, because he will, you test him. Give him false information. See what he does with it. Jiwon's voice gets louder in the background. They need to leave now. Goodbye, Mr. Kong, Zara says.
Goodbye, Zara. Stay safe.
You too. And thank you for everything.
Thank you for saving my life.
I didn't save your life.
I just told you what I heard. You saved yourself by listening.
The line goes dead. Daehyun stands alone in his office while his organization scrambles outside. While Seoul police raid locations across the city. While the network Leeway built and then destroyed finally collapses. His phone buzzes one final time. Message from Nam Jun-ho.
I know what happened tonight. I know what you did. I'm coming in. I have information you need.
Daehyun stares at the message. Then, he makes a decision. He texts back.
Come to my office. Alone. We talk.
3 hours later, Nam Jun-ho walks into Daehyun's office. He looks exhausted. Haunted. Like he hasn't slept in days.
I heard about Li Wei.
Jun-ho says.
I heard about the information drop. I heard about Marcus running. And I'm here to tell you the truth. All of it. No more lies.
Daehyun gestures to a chair.
Sit.
Jun-ho sits, folds his hands in his lap.
20 years ago, I unlocked the door that got your mentor killed. I told you that. What I didn't tell you is that I was supposed to unlock the door that got you killed too.
Daehyun's hand moves to the gun on his desk.
But I didn't. I couldn't. Because I saw something in you that reminded me of why I got into this business in the first place, before it became about money and power and violence, when it was just about surviving.
Jun-ho looks up.
So I let you live. And I've been living with that choice for 20 years, wondering if I made the right call, wondering if you'd become another Wei Huang or Chen Bo. And you didn't. You're not like them. You're different. That 8-year-old saw it. Li Wei saw it. Now I see it. So what do you want? I want to help you clean up the mess. I want to help you remove everyone who's been working for Wei. I know all of them. Every name, every face. I've been documenting them for years.
He pulls out a USB drive, sets it on the desk.
This is my insurance. My way out. Everyone who's compromised, everyone who needs to be removed. I give you this, and you let me disappear. Daehyun picks up the drive. Why should I trust this? Why should I trust you? Because if I wanted to hurt you, I've had 20 years to do it. Because if I was still working for Wei, I'd be in Beijing right now, not sitting in your office. Or you're the 5th person. The deepest spy. The one even Li Wei couldn't find. Junho smiles sadly. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. You'll never know for sure. That's the problem with trust. It's always a gamble. He stands to leave. But here's what I do know. That little girl who saved your life, she's the smartest person I've ever encountered. And she trusted you. That's good enough for me. Junho walks to the door, stops. Use the drive or don't. Believe me or don't. But I'm done. I'm out. I've spent 20 years in hell. Tonight, I choose to leave. He opens the door. And Daehyun, when you see Zara again, and you will, she'll come back. Tell her an old traitor said thank you. Thank you for reminding me that not everyone in this world is broken beyond repair. Then he's gone. Daehyun sits alone with the USB drive. The clock reads 4:17 a.m. Seoul is burning. Organizations are collapsing. People are running or being arrested or turning on each other. And somewhere, an 8-year-old girl and her mother are driving toward a new life. Daehyun plugs in the USB drive, opens the files. 143 names. People in his organization and others, all working for Wei Huang. All documented. All proven. Either Junho is helping him, or Junho is setting him up for the final betrayal. He'll never know for sure. That's the price of surviving in shadows. You never know who to trust completely. But Zara was right about one thing. He has a choice. He can live in fear, suspecting everyone. Or he can choose to believe that sometimes people change. That sometimes even traitors can choose redemption. Daehyun makes his choice. He sends the files to his remaining loyal people, starts the process of cleaning house, removing everyone who's been compromised. And as the sun rises over Seoul, as the city wakes to news of the largest organized crime bust in history, he thinks about an 8-year-old girl who speaks 7 languages and sees patterns no one else can see, who saved his life by whispering 3 words in Mandarin, who taught him that intelligence isn't just about knowing things. It's about knowing which things matter. 3 months later, Daehyun receives a postcard. No return address, just a picture of a beach. And on the back, in careful child's handwriting, "We're safe. We're happy. Mom says thank you. I say you were right. I didn't save your life, but I'm glad I helped. Z." And underneath, in different handwriting, Camilla's. She's in school now, making friends, being a child. Thank you for giving her that chance. Daehyun puts the postcard in his desk drawer, next to a photograph of a little girl with dark eyes and 2 puffs in her hair. The girl who answered a phone in Mandarin and changed everything. The girl who proved that even in the darkest places, even in the most broken families, hope can survive. And sometimes, just sometimes, the most powerful weapon isn't violence or money or fear. It's a child brave enough to tell the truth. 6 months later, Kang Daehyun's organization is smaller but cleaner. The arrests continue. Wei Huang dies in prison, officially suicide, though no one believes it. Chen Bo is extradited from Thailand, facing life imprisonment. Nam Jun-ho is never seen again. The USB drive he gave Daehyun proves accurate. Every name checks out. Every person is exactly what Jun-ho said they were. Whether he was the fifth traitor or a man seeking redemption, Daehyun will never know. And somewhere on a quiet coast, Camilla watches her daughter play in the surf, watches Zara laugh with other children, watches her be 8 years old in ways she never could before.
Mom! Zara calls out. Come see what I found! And for the first time in her life, Camila doesn't look over her shoulder, checking for threats. She just walks toward her daughter, toward the future Li Wei bought with his life, toward the freedom that cost 3 generations to achieve. The phone in Camila's pocket will never ring with threats again. The 3 words Zara whispered are over. The war is won. And a child who was meant to be a weapon learned instead to be simply, wonderfully, herself. If this story moved you, subscribe for more. Share your thoughts in the comments. And remember, sometimes the bravest thing we can do is trust the people who see us, really see us, and choose protection over power.